In Capitol Review is Alexander Bolton. He's a senior staff writer with our media partners at The Hill. Alexander, welcome.
Thanks for having me on.
All right, so we know President-elect Trump recently just picked Pam Bondi as his new AG pick, but before that, that nominee that he picked for that position was Matt Gaetz. So Matt taking his name out of the hat. How do you think Gaetz came to this decision?
Well, he met with Republican senators throughout the day on Wednesday, and there were some frank conversations, and I think he received some signals from Republican senators that he faced a very tough path to confirmation. And what some Republicans had said after meeting with Gaetz is that he needed to brace himself for a very nasty and a very public airing of the allegations against him, allegations of sexual misconduct and illicit drug use. John Cornyn, a senior member of the Judiciary Committee, said that Gaetz was headed to a hearing that would be like Kavanaugh on steroids. And he, of course, was referring to that very high-profile, nasty confirmation fight over Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh back in 2018. And I think I was already picking up on Wednesday afternoon and Thursday morning, senators were saying that it would be better if Gaetz just dropped out because he wasn't going to have the votes, most likely, and his confirmation hearing was going to be a wrenching ordeal. So Gaetz picked up on the message and he dropped out Thursday afternoon.
And Gaetz is not the only decision and the pick from President-elect Trump that's been drawing a lot of criticism. Another one from the person that's been drawing criticism from Democrats has been the selection of Fox News host Pete Hegseth. Now, earlier this week, more detailed reporting on sexual assault claim was released. What exactly did that report say, and do you think he's likely to get through the Senate?
Well, this was a police report filed by a woman who said that she was basically, locked in Hegseth's room at a conference. She made a number of allegations that she was sexually assaulted, and she provided detail. And now this is something that a lawyer for Hegseth says was consensual. I asked Republican senators about this, what they made of these allegations, and they said that this is something that they would have to, examine in a careful way, during confirmation hearings, during meetings with Hegseth. So, it is an issue, although he is not in the same trouble that Matt Gaetz was, partly because, Gaetz. The Gaetz story was already very well known to many Republican senators. The House ethics investigation of Gaetz was something that was very much in the news. Gaetz's feuding with former Speaker Kevin McCarthy was something that Republican senators were very aware of. McCarthy said that the reason that Gaetz pushed him out of the leadership was because he was trying to quash this ethics committee report. So this was something that was the Gaetz drama or allegations were very much in the forefront of senators' attention. The Hegseth stuff, the police report, that just broke on, I think, Wednesday evening, late Wednesday. So senators were not fully familiar with it. Talking to my sources up on Capitol Hill, they still think Hegseth could have a decent path to confirmation. Part of the reason why Hegseth, I think, has a decent shot is because the Defense Department, which he would head as Secretary of Defense, is a very robust institution. There are lots of safeguards so that if he were not a good leader, it would not necessarily damage the military because the military is so robust. So I think senators feel a higher level of comfort in confirming him. But look, certainly they're going to dig into these sexual assault charges, and if it gets enough public attention and if there's enough of a public backlash, he could be in trouble as well.
All right, I'm almost running out of time with 30 seconds left. We know some of the recent selections, Dr. Oz and Linda McMahon, Oz for head of CMS and Linda McMahon as Secretary of Education. Did any of these catch your eye when he made these decisions?
Well, it looks like Oz is going to be, cruising to confirmation. I mean, even John Fetterman, the Democratic senator from Pennsylvania, who narrowly beat Oz in the 2022 midterm, he said he's open to voting for him, and he said, like, look, the election is in the past, and he's willing to have a beer with him. So that open-mindedness, I think, really helps Oz. I talked to Bill Cassidy, who is likely to be the Republican chairman of the Senate Health Committee, and he said, you know, he was actually impressed with the fact that Oz used to be a doctor, or is a doctor, and that he said just the fact, he said, and what Cassidy told me is just because he's on television doesn't mean he should be disqualified or thought of as unserious. So I think, you know, he has a good shot of winning confirmation. Linda McMahon is someone that senators haven't really, you know, focused on yet in kind of full depth. There's new reporting that, you know, she was named in a lawsuit alleging sexual harassment at World Wrestling Entertainment. Whether that will stick to her, whether that will hurt her nomination, remains to be seen. But you know, she's been in the public eye for quite a while now. You know, she ran for Senate in Connecticut. She was the Republican nominee for Senate in Connecticut. So you know, she is a known quantity, and I think senators would probably feel pretty comfortable with her. So I think she probably would have the votes to be Secretary of Education. On the other hand, Trump is trying to abolish the Department of Education potentially, and there's some support for that in Congress. So whether or not she gets confirmed, you know, I think she probably will.
Alexander Bolton with The Hill, thank you for your insight.
Thank you.